Hello everybody, my name is Lisa. This is Where I Sew. You're very welcome. Today I'm going to do a review of another one of these sewing design collection books. And today's topic is Alabama Studio Sewing Patterns, a guide to customizing a hand-stitched Alabama Chanin wardrobe by Natalie Chanin. And that is $21.99 UK, $35 US, and it's published by Stuart Tabori in Chanin. I would just add one thing to this. I bought this in 2016, so those prices may have changed. Okay, Alabama Studio. You may not be familiar with this if you're in the UK. I'd never heard of it, but I saw this in Barnes & Nobles and I thought, that's beautiful, I'm going to have that. And the only difference with it from other typical books of this nature is that the patterns come on CD at the back, and that was all very well and good when I lived in the US, but I had difficulty getting this printed off in the UK. Whatever was going on, I think I tried 2 different print shops and the larger ones wouldn't fit on the pages. I had difficulties, but all is not lost because I had printed all the ones that I wanted in the US. So that was okay. That would be my only caution with that. So if you don't know what Alabama Chanin is, it is a brand. This book is one of 5 that's been produced by this. I mean, she's the designer. Natalie Chanin is the designer, but to me it's a company really, because there's a whole concept behind it, and one of their selling points is that everything in here, all their cottons, are all made in the US. The idea is that they give you the complete look, so they have their own range of organic cotton jerseys. And I would call it high-end because they start, I looked it up, their fabrics start at $29 a yard, and one of the most expensive ones I saw was $57. I couldn't find a UK supplier, and frankly I would really only buy from them if it's their branded one. Anybody else, it could be any kind of a rip-off. But so if you are going to buy this and you're bringing it to the UK, you're going to pay a customs excise for it, so there's that to bear in mind. They have a ready-to-wear. They have their own, I'll put their website down below, but they also have started a ready-to-wear line, and I found a piece from February Vogue 2020 showcasing their autumn looks. So I went to their website and I had a look around, and they have what they call their School of Making. And they sell what they call DIY kits, which is basically everything you would need to make one of their designs. So within that you get a bundle of the jerseys, all the needles and all the threads and everything you could possibly need. I think the cheapest one started at $348 and they went up from there to like $500. That's a lot of money. Obviously if you're a beginner, no, do not do that, because that's, I'll just talk you through the actual dress designs, because this is kind of builds in layers. So on the CD in the book, what you get are dress designs that are really quite simple. They start out like an A-line dress with a neck. You can alter all of these basic designs, you can alter as you go along. So there's a long dress which you cut up at you can cut to different lengths, so you get a different garment. So if you cut it up, you start out with the basic long dress, but as you cut it up, you will get a knee-length dress, a tunic-length dress, and finally a t-shirt, which is quite basic really. There's a little coat. There is a wraparound skirt, there's a swing skirt, there's a long skirt, there's a t-shirt. And all of these you can add different, like for the jacket they were saying add a ruffle at the bottom of the coat. Insert a different fabric so you can add length to it. So it's very creative. It's making you think about how you can adapt and either simplify something or make it a little bit more special. As well as that, within the book, there are really good instructions to how to alter a garment to suit a bust size, to change a waist, to expand a skirt, like for instance inserting, I never know how to say this word, a godet, G-O-D-E-T, basically a triangle of fabric that you put slashes in, and voila, you've made yourself a really voluminous skirt. And they're really good instructions. There is very good and thorough instructions about how to measure yourself. Their size chart goes from extra small to extra large, and that was like 36 inches on the waist, but with the added caution that because these are all designed for jersey, you're going to get a lot of stretch, so bear that in mind, that the jersey is going to change its shape literally throughout the day. So that's the first base. Then you can take it up a notch. She recommends that you hand sew all of these pieces, and in doing so, like, she flips the seams. So if you look here on the front, these sort of almost bodice pieces have been sewn on the outside, hand sewn, so the seam becomes part of the decorative feature of it all. No, I'm not going to do that, I'm afraid. Listen, I know we're all going to have an awful lot of time in our hands, but I would feel that my hand sewing skills aren't sufficient to do that neatly enough without having to get very frustrated and rip it back loads of times. Then the next thing is applique. So there's all stencils. So here, for example, it's a stencil. You magnify it, you photocopy it and enlarge it, and then you cut out the fabric and you applique it onto the dresses, onto the fabric, actually the garment. So you finish the garment and then you applique it. So like for instance here, that's what's happened here. So doing all that by hand, it's a big job. And then layering chiffon over jersey, appliquing it down, decorative stitches. Now I've done that, and I'm gonna I discuss that in another video. So for instance, these, I mean, they're basically very simple. If you've done any kind of embroidery or cross stitch, they're quite simple, but they create lovely effects when repeated. So there's that level. So there's two different levels. Then the third level is adding beads and sequins and all sorts of little lovely bits and pieces. So you can constantly make something more and more unique, more and more special, or, you know, something that is definitely not going to be anywhere else. But, and as you know, it depends how far you want to go into it. I myself haven't got the patience to be sewing beads on, not right now. Maybe, you know, maybe if I really do have loads and loads of time, I might do it. And I would be, and like if I'm spending $50 on a piece of fabric and I mock it up, I would be very unhappy. So if you want to put the practice in and all the rest of it, yeah, you can turn out something stunning. So another really strong element in this brand is the colour palette, the look. So there's really this, so this, for instance, on the front, this very grey-green colour. There's burgundies, very desaturated navy blues. For instance, here, creamy off-whites. There's no popping pops of colour. And then obviously all of this very soft jersey. So here's a perfect example of how that applique looks. Stunning. It's really gorgeous. but I'd imagine quite a bit of work. The other thing that I wanted to sort of mention as well is that in its terms of a look, the variety of the models within the shots of the models, they are sort of all sizes are catered for, very small to very curvy, busty, plus size models. So that was very refreshing to see, though I think it could have done with a bit more ethnic diversity. So that is Alabama Chanin. My thoughts. This is a very helpful, useful book. There's a lot to learn out of it. Would I spend the money on the fabric? No, honestly, no, I wouldn't. I think you can get equally as satisfactory a look from one of these designs with, you know, a mid-priced, like a 15 quid jersey. You can get equally as good a look. It's versatile. I mean, it's very low-key. It's very shabby chic. It's very boho. One of the dresses in it, the back has been, it shows you how to sort of alter the back of one of the dresses so you get a deeper V and then embellish it with black beads and make it into an evening gown. Now, in the real world, I don't know if that would work. The idea, the concept is great, but I don't know. I think it would. I think it'd take a really special look to carry it off. I'm not that person, but maybe you are. So if you've used Alabama Chanin, and if you have any comments and any thoughts on it, let me know down below. Subscribe, give me a like, and let me know what you're working on. Like, if you do need to fill some time if we all go back into lockdown again, here's the book for you. Get sewing, get stitching, get embellishing, and who knows, come the spring you could have a whole wardrobe full of handmade things. So that's all from me. Come back and see me again soon. Take care. Bye for now.